What's up, everyone? This is Reid from Two Sides of New York. I know I'm usually on set with my boy Cross doing the Two Sides of New York regular podcast, but today I'm going to be bringing to you The Concrete Jungle, which is going to be my solo podcast strictly about Yankees baseball. Of course, me and Cross will always do our weekly podcast together. That's something we plan to carry on for years, but if you check on YouTube, Cross has his solo podcast every now and then that he drops about the Mets, so this is mine. So, yeah, just basically going to be talking about straight Yankees, just Yankee news, maybe the little details that maybe the Met fans might not want to hear on the Two Sides of New York, so I'll be dissecting every single detail of the Yankees when we do this podcast and come together. So today, we're going to be talking about London, the Subway Series, and the All-Stars selected from the New York Yankees. So, jumping right into London, wow, Game 1, Yankees jump up to a 6-0 lead in the first inning. Rick Porcello lasts one out. And you got Tanaka on the mound, who he's been pretty hot lately, so you thought, easy win over Boston. In the blink of an eye, Boston ties it up 6-6 right in the first inning, and Tanaka, just like Rick Porcello, can't even last the inning. So you're like, wow, I think the balls are juiced in the U.S. This stadium, everything's going to fly out today. And it sure did. DJ LeMahieu comes up after the Yankees score a couple and clears the bases with a double. Makes it 12-6. I think the Yankees are about running away with it now. They get it up to 17-7, and then Boston just hit after hit. Chavis hits his second two-run shot of the game, and then it's 17-13. The Yankees have to bring in their top-tier guys, Ottavino, Britton, Chapman. So that's a win for the Red Sox, but Chapman was able to close the door, and the Yankees were able to seal Game 1. DJ LeMahieu gets 4 knocks and just continues raking. He was just named AL Player of the Week yesterday, and if the season ended right now, he would have the AL batting title by far. I also think he would be a top 3 MVP candidate. Trout is on another level and is well on his way to his 3rd MVP in just his age 27 season. But negative from that game was Luke Voit was injured, so he's going to be going to the IL with an abdominal strain. So they just broke that news today, but it is retroactive to Saturday the 30th. But according to Yes, it's just to be cautious because they have Encarnacion and they have that kid Ford in the minors who's been raking. So should just be a 10-day stint for Voit. They just didn't want to risk anything. I'm hoping that it's just 10 days because Voit has been a big part of this team. 17 bombs, lots of RBIs, so hopefully we get him back and Encarnacion hits some bombs, walks the parrot, so we don't have to miss him too much. According to Boone, it's just going to be after the All-Star break they expect him back. Don't know if that always pans out, as they said that for Severino, and he's still shut down and doesn't look good there. But going into Game 2, another score fest, 12-8. The Yankees come out on top, and Didi's looking like the Didi we know again, making a absolutely fabulous barehanded play to throw across the field to get the out at first, and then comes up with the bat and absolutely crushes a home run, basically assure that Yankees 2-game sweep. So he also made an absolutely unbelievable play at the end of Game 1 to seal the play with a double play. So it's good to see Didi back, and he's starting to break out that smile again, and kind of going back to the Didi we know. When Didi first came back, I was like, he's not tweeting. He still isn't, but he just didn't seem like that Didi that we knew. But I'm definitely seeing that in the leader in the clubhouse. So this was a really wacky series. 50 total runs. 2 longest games in baseball this season, excluding all extra inning games. So I don't know, it's got to be something with that stadium in London, because 50 runs and they're both the two longest games of 9 innings in the whole MLB this season. So that was that was definitely interesting. But we'll see what happens next year when the Cubs and the Cardinals play there. See if the ball carries out like it did this year. And I mean, they thought the Coors effect was something. This is something else. So after this 2-game sweep, the Yankees are 11 up on Boston and 7 on first on Tampa. And I mean, no one's talking about this at all, that the Yankees are 8-1 since Judge returned. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I mean, yeah, they were doing amazing without Judge, but 8-1, that's basically unbeatable. So that's how much Judge brings to the table, and I think he's going to be the next captain once the Yankees win their next championship, hopefully this season. So Judge back. He's also been hitting pretty well. I think he's got 2 home runs, as he had one in Game 1 in London. And he's hitting .333, so that's what you want to see from who you want to know as your best player or as the face of the team. So that was the London series. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a little nerve-wracking with the end. Maybe like, geez, is any bullpen going to be able to hold this? But got the job done, and 6-1 up against Boston this year. So just have to win one more series in the game, and we win the season series against them. So great to beat them up after they knocked us out of the playoffs last year. So moving on to the Subway Series. Coming up tonight, we have James Paxton versus Zach Wheeler. And James Paxton looking for a little revenge as the Mets really roughed him up in that second game of the day-night doubleheader that the Yankees played in May against the Mets at Yankee Stadium. So Paxton will be looking for a bit of revenge against the Mets. And Zach Wheeler, the Yankees played in that first game of the doubleheader. They really roughed him up, so he'll be looking for a little revenge against the Yankees. So 2 players who got roughed up by the opposing team looking to have bounce-back performances today. Then Game 2 is going to be Jason Vargas versus, the Yankees haven't announced yet. I'm guessing CC Sabathia. If not, and they go for an opener, it would obviously be Chad Green. So, I mean, it's obvious the Yankees are in a much different direction than the Mets. The Mets have lost 7 of 8, and the Yankees have won 13 of 14. So, it's obvious who the better team is right now, but the one question is, could the Mets catch the Yankees tired from their trip in London? And, I don't think so, but, I mean, you never know. I think this is probably the last meaningful games for the Mets in 2019, as they just seem to be getting worse, and with their record, they're going to have to sell I don't know what you're going to do. You got to do something to improve your team at the deadline, and they're getting to the point where it's not looking like they're going to be going for a top-tier player, like they're going to be winning a division or even making the playoffs. So, in my opinion, this is the last 2 meaningful games for the Mets in 2019, so that's why I also think you might see them maybe beat the Yankees in this, because it's maybe a little adrenaline. Maybe this could get them going. Who knows that if you beat the Yankees, you can feel like, well, I can beat anyone. So if the Mets can maybe pull something off and give them a little pump, but I'm not worried. I think the Yankees maybe Vargas might have us a little bit, but I think Paxton will bounce back tonight, and I think we're going to get Wheeler pretty good tonight. I'm predicting the Judge home run tonight. So that's the Subway Series. Me and Cross will recap that tomorrow night. Post that probably Thursday morning or late tomorrow night. So we'll talk about that. And then the All-Star selection. So the Yankees will be sending 3 of their studs to the All-Star game. Newest Yankee, DJ LeMahieu, who's just, as I've said, been on a tear and has, in my opinion, been the most valuable player on the Yankees this season. Gary Sanchez, and then Aroldis Chapman making his 2nd straight and his 6th overall All-Star appearance. Luke Voigt and Glaber were snubbed of the All-Star vote. Glaber with great numbers, definitely deserving of an All-Star spot, and Luke Voigt had much better numbers than Vogelback and Abreu. I think Vogelback just made it because the M's needed an all-star representative, which I think is a pretty BS rule that you need someone to represent your team. Like, if your team's not good and there's not a player worthy of an all-star, sorry, that's how it works. So, Voit clearly should have been backing up Santana, but he's on the IL anyway. I don't know if maybe that had something to do with it. So, that's just... It sucks, but the best team at the end of the year isn't the team that has the most all-stars. It's the team that wins the most games. So, not a big deal, just annoying. I would have liked to see Voit in the home run derby, but with him hurt, that wouldn't have mattered anyway. So, DJ, Gary, and Chapman, congrats. Look forward to seeing them in Cleveland, and those are your all-stars for the Yankees. So, yesterday, a terrible thing happened. Tyler Skaggs, 27 years old, of the Angels, was found dead in his hotel before the game was supposed to take place in Texas against the Angels and Rangers. So it's definitely really bad for baseball, as he seemed to just be coming into his prime, getting stuff together, and everyone seemed to love him as he got respect from players all around the league, including Giancarlo Stanton. Put out a really emotional post, and there's nothing more sad than seeing a young upcoming athlete die, especially one that you know is going to make a big impact, like Jose Fernandez, Yolando Ventura. Those two were destined to maybe even win Cy Youngs, and it could have been the same case with this kid. He was just 27, got married in December, and his life was just starting. So it's really sad, and hearts definitely go out to him and his family. So, thank you for listening to the first episode of The Concrete Jungle, and below I'm going to do a little highlight reel of the Yankees London series. So, thank you for listening, and me and Cross will be back at it tomorrow with our normal Two Sides of New York.